against the defending Grey Cup champions, and Jarius Jackson into the game now. First and goal from the 2. The former Notre Dame starting quarterback, with Lambala and Robertson in behind. Fakes to Tim Brown. Diamond Ferry's going to pick it up. What a big play by the outside linebacker. Not fooled by the misdirection.
No, he wasn't. He just stepped up and took care of his responsibility. And Diamond Ferry's responsibility on this play was to step up and be contained. And not only does he do it, but he does it so well and so quickly that Jarius Jackson can't even throw the ball away. He wants to throw the ball away to save the loss there, take him off the goal line. It's happened so fast for him, he can't even do that.
A loss of 11, and Lule back in. And that sequence will be fodder for the second guessers. Here comes the rush into the end zone off the fingertips of Nick Moore, who's had a couple of shots at touchdown catches, and Lule looks like he thought that one should have been.
Yeah, well, I know it frustrates him because the right read was made. He saw some pressure coming. Travis Lule in the shotgun now. He's got more coming to the hole, to the middle of the field. No safety. You see Etienne Boulay, number 22, frozen up front. He's about 8 yards deep from the line of scrimmage, so the middle's got to be open. The ball is put right where it has to be put. Here's what happened to Nick Moore. He stopped running about 10 yards prior to that point, and that cost him at the end of the play.
Try to one-hand it too, and a promising drive ends up in a McCallum field goal attempt that he puts through 5 minutes into the third quarter. And now it's a 2-touchdown lead.
Well, Nick Moore is a young receiver, but he has what he wants in coverage. He has no safety in the middle, but watch where he makes the mistakes. He'll learn from this one. Nick Moore comes out. First of all, little hesitation. He's got to run right through this jam on the outside and continue to accelerate through the route. He hesitates there, and then with the ball in the air, man, you got to put both hands out there, not just one, and not casual. You add another 3-4 yards at the back of that end zone. You got to put both mitts on it.
Doesn't have to always be a highlight reel catch. Good job. Downfield cover that time by the special teams, led by Miami product Anthony Reddick.
Well, what a hit. That's called being the gunner. And Anthony Reddick, who's getting a chance to play halfback and a little bit on defense because of the injury in training camp to Stanley Franks. Boy, he comes down that field. And special teams in the CFL, so important because of the kicking and the returning and all that. But he just blows it up and then makes the tackle. The guy he hit first, just prior to that tackle, he ended up about 5 yards behind the ball carrier.
So a deep start for Montreal's first possession, second half. At their 26. Dalvio and Kerry Carter, the fullback, has a catch, and Adam Leonard will drag him down.
Can I show you that special teams play one more
Sure.
time? Because I get fired up when I see guys covering kicks. They're starting on defense, but they got to cover kicks too. You're going to see, watch him come down. Now, he's going to hit Kitwana Jones, one of the best special teams player in the CFL in a long time, right there. He drives him, the gunner, right back into the running back in Whitaker, and then makes the tackle. That's outstanding coverage.
Man, Kitwana Jones had a knockout shot in the preseason last week.
40 line.
Against
Tight end left.
the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Former Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Whitaker will dance on it. And Brandon Whitaker up to midfield. Well now, the discussion about replacing Avon Coburn might be over.
I want to see here too what Karan, there's Whitaker there. I want to see what Karan Williams does on this play. Remember early in that first half when he got beat on the reverse? Well, this time he gets up field, he gets chipped, and he gets knocked down. Again, that backside contained man is now down on the ground and lost, and Brandon Whitaker uses his patience, bounces to the right. Big gain for Montreal.
22 yards on that romp as he closes in on last year's numbers already. Works out daily with the backup quarterback Adrian McPherson. They call each other the B team. And Brandon Whitaker's on the 18 now. Catch made by Brian Bratton. And that's his first of the game, and it's a first down grab for Bratton, a 12-yard pickup.
It was quite a competition at running back for Brandon Whitaker. Brian Bratton now getting involved in the offense a little bit. But when you think about Brandon Whitaker coming in and competing against DeAndre Cobb from the Hamilton Tiger Cats, former Winnipeg Blue Bomber Vincent Bernard, and it was quite a competition and a battle in camp, although it was, according to Tressman, his job to lose because he was here last year.
Manuel Mark also part of that, and Amon Green, who was an early cut, the former Green Bay Packers star. Whitaker again, not this time, says Eric Taylor.
Well, Eric Taylor he decides that he is going to reestablish the line of scrimmage about 5 yards in the backfield. Eric Taylor signs as a free agent in February with the BC Lions, comes up the field around Luc Brodeur-Jourdain.
Replacing Jonathan Brown, who's retired, and if JB's watching, a shout out to him. What a great CFL career he had, mostly with the Toronto Argonauts.
Every time the Lions go to 4-down lineman, Anthony Calvillo changes the play.
2nd and 13, low shotgun snap, pressure coming. He rolls out, and now downfield, throws it away because Solomon Elimimian was in the neighborhood.
Well, he ends up being secondary contained. Eric Taylor gets a little bit caught in the wash, but he's bailed out by Solomon Elimimian, who starts out right here in the middle. Now, as Calvillo works to this side of the field, if he gets that corner, he'll find a big play down the field. A little bit of a low snap, but watch Elimimian. He has to hustle now, cut him off. Brandon Whitaker's out there protecting Anthony Calvillo, but he cut him off enough, so that was incomplete.
So Sean White to punt. And that boot down to the 2-yard line to Tim Brown. And Brown up to the 12. But we're on the slopes of Mount Royal tonight. Wondered if Tim Brown should have let that White punt go into the end zone. He brought it back to the 12, and Lulay to work. And he tries to go up top, and unsuccessful, looking for Dobson Collins.
Yeah, Dobson Collins got worked to the inside and wasn't able to maintain that sideline right down the rail pattern that he wanted. Travis Lulay wanted him. He threw it to that spot. Now he's got a 2nd and long. I agree with you. I think Tim Brown made an error in judgment there to try and run that out. He's got his team in a hole here where a single doesn't really hurt you.
You know, in the preseason, they're encouraged to bring everything out just to see what they can do. Game strategy now a little different. Brown, though, looks like a keeper as a return man. 2nd and 10. And Lulay steps up and throws it to Moore, complete. Up at the 24-yard line, that's a first down.
And Travis Lulay goes right back to Nick Moore, even though it was Moore in the back of the end zone. That little bit casual with that one-hand attempt that ended up in a field goal. But he goes right back to him over the middle and a key first down.
Asked a couple of the Lions the last 2 weeks, Paul McCallum and G. Roy Simon, which one of the young guys looks good, and they both pointed at number 83, Nick Moore. First and 10, back in the hands of Moore. A guy who made 20 catches in one game against Michigan when he played for Toledo. Drops one he should have had.
Well, this ball a little bit behind Nick Moore. He's on the shallow crosser, and he knows as everyone's dropping there from Montreal, there's got to be something waiting on the other side, and it was Diamond Ferry, who he just ducks under. You're catching a crosser, better catch it the first time. If you start juggling it, you're going to get hit.
2nd and 10, and the Alouette crowd gets amped up. Pressure, flag, and Lulay downfield, and this one off the hands of and face mask of Chip Cox, who should have had it.
They're having some fun with Chip Cox on that one. Look, Travis Lulay got outside, and he was just trying to throw it up. And Chip Cox, that's one of the ones where his teammates...
BC number 54. That penalty's declined. Third down.
Dean Valley called him a holding, but that's one where Dwight Anderson walks up to Chip Cox and says, here's the thing, okay, you had an interception, but you got to remember, the ball is your friend. Ouch. That went right off the face mask.
Well, McCallum to boot it away. Maypray from his 36. And Maypray with a nice return up across the 50-yard line. Well, our sack tally brought to you again this year by Purelator, tackling hunger across Canada. Check. And there's how they checked out last year.
BC Lions in Montreal deadlocked at 44, and of course the leaders led by Philip Hunt, the sack champion at 16 with 51 on the season. Winnipeg Blue Bombers will open this regular season against Hamilton.
Rod Dwayne will have that one for you tomorrow. 2-1 the sacks in favor of Montreal so far tonight, and not much up the middle for Darren Diedrich.
This is where you, if you're the BC Lions and the fans of the Lions watching after preseason, that they did not give up a major. 6 points in 2 games, a 24-0 win versus Calgary. And then they gave up just 6, a couple of field goals against Saskatchewan in a 34-6 win. But that's when everybody says in the preseason, it's hard, you can't put too much emphasis on what happens. It's all rotation, it's about evaluation, and we're seeing it now.
2nd and 8, and that pass falls incomplete, intended for Carter, but the heat was on, and Anthony Calvillo got it away in a hurry.
Davis Sanchez was stepping into that hit on Carter.
So that's 2 drives in a row for Montreal, or 2 possessions in a row without points. Only 3 times in the game have they had the football and not come away with points, so that defense starting to dig in.
Yeah, a little bit,
BC.
little bit about halftime adjustments.
And Tim Brown awaits. Punt from Sean White, who fought off a challenge from Sandro DeAngelis for the starting job. And here's Brown. Gets through, and he's got something, and only White to stop him. Tim Brown, in his first CFL game, is going to go the distance. Touchdown, and the Lions are back in it. 98 yards, the replacement for Giannis Davis.
Tim Brown will have people forgetting about Giannis Davis in a hurry if he keeps up with this kind of pace. Look at the great cut right there, back to the inside on Eric Delorier. Now he's one-on-one on Sean White. He's going to cut inside there. I thought Dwight Anderson might get him. Marco Iannuzzi comes back and chips Dwight Anderson just enough so he can't get him from the backside. What a run.
Well, Roy Shivers said this guy makes the miss in the Arena League on that small field. Imagine what he'd do on the big Canadian field. We just found out.
California, baby. 209. Brown family, what's happening?
And that gets PC right back in the game. There with women. Then a touchdown here. Under 3 minutes left in the third.
Wow. They look good.
Made with buttermilk.
I can tell.
So, supper here to go.
Here. And a coffee.
At McDonald's, we've made the perfect buttermilk biscuit sandwich. Baked fresh every morning. So come try one today.
See if you can spot the difference between an oil change from Mr. Lube and one done at a dealership. They both use premium brand oil, both use trained technicians, and both work to warranty-approved standards. Ready? Difference is the car on the right has an appointment 2 weeks from now at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Ready for a change?
Well, tickets to the 99th Grey Cup game in Vancouver are 90% sold now. Buy your tickets online at the 2011 Grey Cup Festival.ca or by phone 1-855 Grey Cup. For a limited time, also receive a Vanier Cup ticket with each Grey Cup ticket purchase. Well, now,
Game on. In game one, the 2011 season, Tim Brown has made this a one-score game on a nice block at the end of the play by Marco Iannuzzi. First-round draft pick for the BC Lions. If you're not starting on offensive defense, you've got to work on the special teams.
Paul McCallum kicks it off. And now it is Tim Maypray. And he'll fight his way out to the 38. Alouettes gave up 2 kick return touchdowns last week in preseason action against Hamilton. This one will hurt.
Well, and Tim Brown does such a nice job. But look at Iannuzzi right here. He 6th-round pick, or 6 overall, just a chip right there on Dwight Anderson. It looked like he might have had the angle to maybe catch Tim Brown from behind. And he was right in the middle of the formation, so he had to peel back, hustle to get back involved in that play, and that hustle paid off at the end of the play when Tim Brown found the end zone, and all of a sudden, this Lion team is back in it.
Harvard graduate, Calgary native. Really high on Marco Iannuzzi, who could also return it. There's Whitaker straight ahead, trying to push the pile. Karan Williams at the bottom of it. Eric Taylor also in on the tackle. But so far, a lot quieter here in the second half.
Well, and the credit goes to Mike Benavides and the BC Lion defense for going in at halftime. And you saw that shot at halftime. We showed you Mike Benavides talking to his troops. He's made some adjustments, made it a little more difficult. They've tried to contain Brandon Whitaker and get the Montreal Alouettes offense in the second and longer situation.
2nd and 5, a pump and go from Calvillo. And it's a catch. Little back hip catch for Jamel Richardson, and he has a message for the Lions bench.
Well, first of all, Jamel Richardson, as Jock said, out of Victor Valley College, is the wideout out here, and he's working one-on-one on Dante Marsh, who is at 5'10", so there's a height advantage there. But watch how he pushes him up the field. Marsh is in pretty good position and then throws the brakes on, and Marsh just flies right by.
27 more for Jamel Richardson. Know some fans are in those fantasy pools, making their selections the last few days. If you got Jamel Richardson, you got a keeper. Out of the backfield, Whitaker, who's chalked up some good-looking numbers in his 2011 debut.
You know, some of the no concern, justifiably so, about who replaces Ben Cahoon, who replaces Kerry Watkins. Well, S.J. Green is still here, and so is Jamel Richardson. And in this game alone, and we're not done 3 quarters, they are over 200 yards combined and in the double figures in catches. And both big, huge targets, big playmakers.
And both over 100 yards last year in the Grey Cup game against Saskatchewan. This play requiring a measurement. Haven't seen as much of the newcomers, Brandon London, Dallas Baker. And Kerry Watkins, unfortunately not in the lineup for the Alouettes. There's a chain link or 2 short, as Watkins coming back off sinus surgery and right now on the disabled list.
Just shy of 1,000 yards for Kerry Watkins. It's interesting with the firepower that this team had last